What's going on, everybody? Mike here. If you'd like to join the ever-growing Fly Casual community, please take a moment right now to subscribe to our channel and share with a friend.
If you guys are ready, we'll dig back into The Mandalorian. Now, we've already reviewed episodes 1 and 2, but we have not talked about episodes 3, 4, and 5, so I don't want to go through every scene, but it would be nice to maybe touch on some of the highlights. Yes, Baby Yoda is a highlight in each one of these.
He is in the show, too.
Okay, so out of episodes 3, 4, and 5, episode 3 will start there. Probably my favorite of these three.
I forget which one's
I would
which
say.
now.
Episode 3 would be the Mandos bailing him out at the end of the episode.
That's probably my favorite episode, but I have no shame in admitting that it has a lot to do with the giant Mando onslaught at the end.
Yes,
so great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I was watching this while Corey was working.
It's true.
And we were on Discord together.
I was working on some Fly Casual projects.
And yeah, and it got to that scene.
This is what I hear. This is what I hear. Oh, yeah? I go, oh, yeah? And he goes, I really want to talk right now. So when I was watching it later, I went, oh, that was this scene where Howie was like,
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
So it's a big shootout at the end.
Yeah.
He basically decides to break out Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he's like Batman.
Yeah, the whole plot of this was he's delivering his Corey, Baby Yoda, and decides, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to go back, get him out.
Yeah, love don't cost a thing.
And then
another spike.
and then save the day.
Yeah.
So that's where we really get a good look at how the Mandalorian is like, you know what, this isn't. I'm better than just this being a job.
He's a bounty hunter with the heart of gold.
Heart of Beskar.
Yeah.
Truth.
Really squishy Beskar.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, but I mean, you were talking about the Mandalorian character earlier, man. I mean, this is the stuff. I mean, these are like universal themes, right? I mean, this guy was an orphan, and this kid is an orphan,
is not
and
doing anything groundbreaking.
It's not.
No,
but
not
it's
at all.
heartfelt, and people gravitate to this
they
stuff.
respond to it.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not doing groundbreaking things for a TV show, but in terms of story and character, literally none of this is groundbreaking.
Like the fourth episode has that storyline has been done thousands of times, literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you say the fourth episode?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the fourth episode is like one of the again, Garrick has GM'd that.
I did that exact thing happened, which was based off of
you know what
Samurai.
The thing of it is about these stories. I mean, and this goes back. There was what did we see, a tweet or a story or something where George Lucas commented that Dave Filoni is like a son to him.
Yeah,
no, that was Bryce Dallas Howard was. They were doing a get together with all the Mandalorian directors.
That's right. Yep.
And she was telling this story, and Dave Filoni's like down there, like looks like he's on the verge of tears because he's like so touched by what she's saying.
Okay.
Well,
I have a question for you guys. Which episode of these three did Bryce Dallas Howard direct?
The fourth one.
Episode 4.
Just make sure you guys
the one. Yes.
The one where all the dialogue fell flattest. In my personal opinion.
Well,
in terms of these
debatable.
I loved it, but I felt like
the most memeable Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah, the Baby Yoda drinking
by
soup.
far.
Soup Yoda.
And the one at the beginning when he's touching the buttons.
Yes.
In the spaceship.
Oh man, so I know what happens in that video, but I haven't watched it yet. He's flipping on and it's the radio playing Africa by Toto.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're good.
But in terms of these stories, though, I mean, we were talking about just how people are responding to them and the universality of them. I really believe this goes back to like Filoni's relationship with George Lucas. I know these are this is Favreau's show, but he's working closely with Filoni, and, you know, Filoni understands. Well, let's just go back to the beginning. I mean, George Lucas, when he was writing Star Wars and he, you know, wanted to create this big space opera, I mean, everybody that knew him and has talked about him always says that one of his favorite parts is going and doing the research, right? He loved going to the library, and he loves, looking up, mythology and what are the stories, what are the, he looked at different cultures and which stories are universal between a whole bunch of different cultures and all that stuff, and especially A New Hope and the original trilogy as a whole. I mean, those are themes that are universal, right? And I think that those are things that Filoni has picked up.
Trade embargoes.
That's true.
Pretty universal, right?
Truth. But again, I think those are things that Favreau and Filoni have picked up and are applying to this television show. And I hope they keep going in that direction because they're hitting the mark, man. I mean, they're making a splash.
And to your point, George Lucas, he said, he was very fascinated with the serialized versions of Buck Rogers.
Gordon and
all Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so he put a lot of those elements into his story. So it's like Dave Filoni is almost reverse engineering Star Wars into a serialized sci-fi show, which is great. And he's doing and that's what I love about these episodes. Yeah. Because they'll bring in, it's like, they're all like one-offs, but there's still like a backstory.
There's an overarching story.
It's so easy when you want to do your own spin or do something different or really subvert expectations and things like that, where you get caught in an idea, but you don't know how to facilitate it. So someone comes up with a red herring like, what about space gas? To make it work, and it just comes across, you completely blow the quality of your subversion out of the water.
Right.
Because you've done something
out of space.
Out of space water, which has memory.
Looking at it from a slightly different view, too. I mean, I feel like television show. I mean, there's a lot of people that would say the last 10 years, especially, has kind of been the golden age of television, right? I mean, that these Netflix shows, and I mean, your Breaking Bads and your Game of Thrones, and I mean that these, Sopranos. I mean, these are just television shows that are just, the quality is just way out there. And I almost feel like that, though, that The Mandalorian is something different, right? Yes. I mean, it's going back in time to where they, like one of you guys said, the simple story that they're like one-offs, but there's an overarching story going there. But we have these one-off episodes with these simple themes and these simple stories. And I think episodes 4 and 5 especially have really, because the first 3 were kind of setting things up, but these last 2, where they help the village, fight the bad guys. And then, this last one today, they just self-contained little stories, right?
Kitster tried to kill him.
Yes.
Yeah, was it?
I haven't verified it, but he looked like him and he sounded like him.
No,
his name was like Toro something or something or other. Calamari. Yeah, that's his name. Toro Calamari. That was his real name, sure.
So anyway, episode 3 episode 3 was directed by Deborah Chow. Chow, good. I believe.
That's my favorite.
That was probably my favorite too. She's getting, and I'll tell you what, she has, she's going to be working on the Obi-Wan series. Ooh. And I've read a couple things with her that I'm very impressed with. Somebody, and I haven't read the whole article, somebody pointed out to me that she was asked in an interview, what's it feel like to, be the first woman director on, a Star Wars TV series and blah, blah, blah. And her reaction was, I hadn't even thought about it that way. I'm just a director. And I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you. And then that made me super excited for, well, not only the success that she had for this show, but that makes me excited for the Obi-Wan series because she's going to be, helming that. And that's what I want. I want someone that their first thought isn't, oh, I'm the first woman in Star Wars. No, it's that I want to do the best job that I possibly can and produce a quality television show. Man, because I'm a director.
Straight up was not Kitster.
It was not Kitster.
It is in my mind. It is. Yeah. He just changed his name to sound cool.
He has one acting credit.
What's his real name?
Kitster?
No, I mean the character. The character was Kidster in the universe, but then he changed his name to become cool.
Oh, that works. Also, he didn't age like 30 of the last 50 years, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's a different species. They don't all age the same way. You should know that.
I agree emphatically with her response, which is, I'm a director, not a woman director.
Yep. Right. Exactly.
I'm here to do a good job.
Right.
Not a good job for a woman, which is that is the most demeaning concept of all.
It is. It really is. Opinion. And I just, me too. And I like that attitude. And
here's the secret. She freaking did.
Yeah. She did kill her job, and it was a great episode.
John Wick. Man, that was so good.
Yeah, right.
She should direct a job.
She really knows her shit.
She knows. So episode 4, we already kind of talked on, was Bryce Dallas Howard. Sounds like maybe the least favorite among the group, maybe so far.
But still,
I love
I like this episode one significantly more than 5.
Than 5, okay.
Yeah.
5 gave me the member berries, but 4 had
it was all member berries.
Yeah, but 4 also. I think I like 5
ATST in it.
I like them equally.
Yeah, because
red first
eyes.
off,
with red eyes.
it made her ATST look like a monster in the woods, and that was awesome.
It made it scary because it made ATST scary like they should be.
Yeah, yeah. But like, there were parts of 4 that I'm like, that could have easily been stronger, but yet, and also the whole story of 4, again, we've said is. I wouldn't call it cliche, but approaching cliche. It's been done so many times. I mean, it's Three Amigos, you guys.
But it was its own unique thing, and
right, and it's fine. Again, I'm nitpicking on purpose, right?
And Baby Yoda was sipping soup in the alley.
Soup.
He almost got his helmet taken off.
I don't
got
feel
a loath cat in there.
I don't feel that that 5 had those same weaknesses, but much less happened in 5.
Right.
And 5 had goofy member berries, which I enjoyed. So I think I like them both equally for completely different reasons.
In 4, I love seeing the interaction with the kids and Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
that was great.
The kids were neat. Actually, I liked the interaction between the village woman and the Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love that
and Cara Dune.
Yeah, and Cara Dune, she was great. I loved her.
Hope she comes back.
Man.
Yeah, I do too. I think she will.
I think she's slated for 2 more episodes at least.
Do you think they'll do like a Ocean's 11 thing on the last episode?
I hope you guys don't believe any of this that I'm telling you now.
Do Ocean's 11 where they bring in IG-88 and he's like doing something and he just nods
do the
at
big
him.
Heist.
IG-11.
No, IG-88.
Oh, the actual IG-88.
Yeah, IG-11's dead, man.
IG-88 survived the Death Star.
There's only one IG-11.
Oh, no, we can't break that.
I'm assuming IG-11 got scavenged by those Jawas on that planet.
That's probably true.
They turned
it back into a coffee maker.
Yeah. So yeah, they just do Ocean's 11. He'll like Mandalorian will show up and nod, and I'm like, okay, here.
Yeah.
Your coffee comes out of his chest where the,
where the thermal detonator was. Yeah. His head's just a percolator.
Yeah. I like that character, that lady who could shoot really good, and there's no explanation for it. Yeah. I loved how they just left that unspoken.
Who can shoot? Only one person, and it's her. And all right, story complete.
Yeah, I was like,
that's fine. You don't have to rub our noses in it.
Yeah.
And of course, I saw some of the troller people out there who are like super sensitive to the fact that so many of the strong characters in Star Wars now are female. At the same time, we had 2 episodes there where we had like feminists decrying, I like this show, but I'm upset that I'm not represented, which I'm like, all right, step back. It's coming. And it's been here for a while. Right. You know what I mean? So you got a couple episodes. So now this steps up and they're kind of up in their game. They're bringing in more female characters every episode right now. And I'm like, all right, we're rounding things out without any of it feeling artificial. If they tried to rub our nose and like, well, I served in the war, blah, 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 like, too much. Exactly. Now it feels artificial.
I know that would have been a bad step.
It would have been instead.
And it would have like,
she's her.
You could just make your own assumptions there, right? I mean, she grew up in a village and maybe her dad took her hunting when she was, but
there's no intrigue. There's no more intrigue into that character. So you wouldn't care anymore.
And you've also left yourself open for potential possibilities in the future if you need that.
Yes, it's okay to leave doors open as long as you don't make us think those doors are important to close.
Yeah.
Ep 7 and 8.
Yep.
Close some doors in 9. You don't know.
Well, no, Ep 7 left some doors open and they seemed important, and Ep 8 slammed them on our noses.
And they're gonna open them up again.
Yeah, I know. They're prying them right off the hinges. Apparently,
they didn't bar them.
When God closes the door, he opens a window.
I know that song.
Just don't jump out.
I know.
I had to help myself not sing.
Wasn't it from those old Bible shows with the book?
I thought it was from Waiting.
Talking about salty.
Oh, was it from Waiting? Oh, let that be done. Yeah, it was talking about salty.
The other thing I like about the other thing I like about these episodes is the slow burn in terms of what we're learning about the Mandalorian, right?
Yes.
You know, in one ep we get, you know, he's with his enclave and, you know, we learn a little bit there about the Beskar and all that stuff. Yeah, this is the way. We learned some of that stuff, you know, then we learned about the helmet. You know, everybody's like, you can't take his helmet off. It's like, well, yeah, you can, but he just can't in front of other people. And, you know, and there's consequences if he does. And, you know, it just seems we get a little bit each episode. It's great.
Can I do some post episode 5 predictions?
Oh, okay. Wait, we need to talk about
episode 5 first.
Oh, okay.
Well, the biggest thing in episode 5 was the ending, right?
That's what I want to talk about.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea.
So the ending episode 5.
I got 3 theories.
The ending episode 5. He takes off. He says bye-bye to Amy Sedaris and Larry, Moe, and Curly pit droids.
Yeah.
Those cheating bastards.
By the way, I liked that. I know those are Phantom Menace and all that stuff, but I like the continuity. I like it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Once it's happened, it's happened. You can't put the cat back in the bag. You can't put the beans back in the bean can.
It gives them more credibility now.
Yeah.
Space gas forever.
You in the nuts.
Yeah.
They'll kick you square in the nuts.
Yeah. Square in them in the Gunga nuts.
Hit the nose.
Hit the nose.
Mike, did you notice when they were playing Sabak, they were cheating? Did you notice that?
Oh,
no.
They were passing cards between each other.
Oh, I did not notice that. And that is brilliant.
Oh my gosh! Now I got to go back and watch.
Yes,
that's awesome.
So
I
anyway,
hope one of them had it on it between his toes.
So anyway, the question I have is, first off, okay, top of the show, boom, he's getting shot at by another bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's great.
And blah blah blah.
She was cool. And
that's my line.
Shoots, and then immediately boom, boom, right? Produced by Nick Wolf. But my point is, he had to land on Tatooine and stuff because his engines were shut down. He needed repairs and stuff, right? He leaking fuel. Why was he there anyway? Why was he over Tatooine? Because he needed to get to Tatooine for something.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he lands, he's like, I need to find a job because I got no money to get my ship repaired, right? And you're thinking, he's just getting ship repaired. Everything's fine. But then at the very end, it would appear that stuff happens. He looks to fly off into space, but then there's somebody walking up and poking the body of the chick that got shot out in the desert there. So here's my thing. He's looking in his visor. There's some kind of flashy thing out on the sand earlier, right? And he goes, no, I'll go get the dewback.
Yeah, what was that? So
we don't know, right? But he wanders off, goes out for a long time.
Yes.
Eventually, the dude, shoots her in the stomach. And it appears at the end that someone who's also wearing a cape, like very few people are,
and jingle jangles,
comes back up to
wearing like spurs,
check the body. Well, that's what I'm trying to think. Were those the Mandalorian's feet? Because here's my theory: he was going to Tatooine. He was going to
100% Boba Fett.
I was wondering if he was going to Tatooine to find her, because at some point he makes a point of telling the dude to go find his blaster while they were fiddling or while they were fighting, and he was taking his dear sweet time to show up and get the kid or get her off the kid and get her cuffed. He could have fiddled with the kid's blaster. I don't know. And there was that signal thing, but I didn't get the opinion that he was seeing the dewback. There was something flashing.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was all a big setup here, and that he set the kid's blaster to stun or something like that. And so she was just playing dead or out cold until he came back to get her. Because also when he goes to space, his ship curls off to the side real quick. He doesn't actually go straight up.
Boba Fett.
No, I think that was Mando. I think he went back.
No, because Boba Fett he was supposed to be the Clint Eastwood of the movie, but that didn't work. But they gave him that jingly spur sound when he walked. Artificially.
Boba Fett sounded like spurs when he walked. You are full of the nastiest
true.
BS.
Yeah, it's true. Or another theory, it could be
Boba Fett.
Cobb Vanth Cobb or Cobb Vanth, whatever his name is. It was like in one of the books. Or the Giancarlo.
Well, to me,
character.
the easiest one is that Carl Weathers was following him because he got away.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah,
that was the easiest game. But I don't think he wears a cape, does he?
Maybe it's Lando.
Lando wears waist capes. That's different. This is a full length cape. So I'm wondering if it was a setup the whole time or most of the time so that she wouldn't die and he could get this kid away from her, and that somehow her and Mando were in cahoots with one another. That's my theory. What are your theories, Garrick?
Boba Fett.
Okay. What's your second and third theory?
Boba Fett and maybe reincarnated Jango Fett.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. In other words, Boba Fett.
And by Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yes. A clone of Jango Fett.
Yes. A damn good one. I love the fact that at the end of this episode they gave you a little bit of intrigue. It was of course very artificially limited, which like The View, which always irks me. That's that's like throwing what's his name under the dumpster, the dude from
Glenn,
like throwing Glenn under the dumpster. I'm like, don't artificially block me from seeing it because that's just taking me out of it. There's a little bit of that, but I like the fact that now it's not just, okay, where are we going to next? Now it's like, okay, what's actually happening here? Which I dig. I'm excited about the next episode, even more so maybe than I was for this one. So, and I was pretty freaking excited for every episode so far.
I'm excited. Is it out yet? Is it out?
Nope.
It's only 3 episodes left. I'm sad, man.
Yep. Hey, we're wading through an ocean of Star Wars. Anybody else have anything you want to say about Mando before we move on?
It has over 100 million views.
Whoa! I have no idea how to contextualize that.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Stranger Things.
Wow.
Over 81 million views.
Like all episodes of Stranger Things?
All streams of all time. That's the thing. That's how I was taking
cross-platform audience demand, average demand expressions.
That's still
gives you nothing.
Information missing.
Yep.
That means
does not compute.
I'm sure if I actually read more, I'd
never tell me the
it.
vague odds.
Yes.
Or do.
The point is they got a hit on their hands, right?
Yep.
By the way, episode 5, I don't know if anybody mentioned Filoni directed that episode.
So.
Good job, Flones.
That's why Filoni is in it.
Yeah. Loved the sand people scene, man.
That was great.
I like the fact that sand people just standing there. Like,
He's like, why'd you ask him? And they're just there.
One of them standing there with his belly sticking out like, what do you want to do? You want to go somewhere?
What about it? We were hiding right behind that
I want to tell you what, that was one of my favorite parts. Just watching the interaction with the sand people.
He's like, whoa.
Yep. So then he starts telling them to like throw fast and low and outside. I don't know what was going on. I think
definitely giving baseball signals.
Yeah, someone was supposed to steal first or something.
Give him the changeup.
Yeah.
Nope, second.
The old screwball. But
I don't know how you steal first, but good luck on that.
So 5 episodes
if the catcher
in, man.
drops the ball.
Well,
5 episodes in, and this show is not disappointing.
You swing on a third strike, you can take.
We hope you enjoyed this special edition of Fly Casual. If you haven't already, please subscribe and rate us at iTunes, Stitcher, and all your favorite podcast locations. It is important that you rate us so that we can reach more and more people. As always, be sure to check out the show notes at betterkind.com. There are also many, many ways to join in on the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at FlyCasual1138. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FlyCasualPodcast. We are also now on YouTube, so please take a moment right now to subscribe and ding the bell for updates. We are also now on Discord as well. Lots of opportunities to chime in. Reach out and say hi. Talk to you soon.